What has been the lab you've used to be able to arrive to this new tool? Well, basically, the lab behind this has been a practice of several years with lots of generations of students at my university, where they have worked with developing advertising signs for the different enneatypes. And we have worked on the details in terms of the words and the expressions in the images, the type of typography and lighting, all of the spectrum of characteristics to which the different consumers are sensitive to. We have done this in terms of advertising. We've analyzed, for example, the television show X Factor, and we have seen what are the attributes that this show has that make people want to see it. And there are different motivations. And choosing these motivations has not been easy, because you have to think about, you have to know a lot about Enneagram, and then you have to do a cross-section in terms of the different attributes that this show has and how they connect to the different personalities. And then you have to work on a survey, and then you have to be sure about what you're asking in that survey. And then you can start working on a strategy for mass communication. How will consumers receive this? I think that consumers nowadays are already choosing products because of their attributes, and they're doing this unconsciously. So I don't think there's going to be many more differences in terms of the conscious. But what is going to happen is that each consumer will notice that the messages that he's receiving are being designed for him. So therefore, the level of empathy and seduction are going to be higher. And people are going to be that the messages are being directed to them and not to the whole mass of people. That is what the consumer will perceive. But he will do this unconsciously. He won't be conscious to be able to say, aha, this is what's happening. This was being designed for me because I am the enneatype number 5 or 6. But he will feel that the messages and the mass messages are being designed and they're being tailor-made for him in his way of being. So you're saying there's a need for personalization of needs. Yes, obviously. The market is more segmented, more personalized, and more defined. It's almost like using a rifle shotgun. So how do you think, and based on what you said before, how do you think this is going to help the Enneagram community and in terms of Enneamarketing? Well, the Enneagram community has always been focused, and I hope this will be so in the future, in developing conscious and human development. So therefore, in this sphere, I can say that there is no relation. There is no direct relation from the point of view of sales, and which is what we're talking about now. But it can be applicable in, for example, education, arts, etc. For example, I am now we're composing 9 different songs, 9 different love songs for each enneatype. And I'm working with a composer, a musician. And this is going to be in some sort of test, and we're going to commercialize this, where people will be able to see which words that are used by a different song are more sensitive for one enneatype than to another. And in that sense, maybe that song will be focused for one specific type of enneatype. So maybe one could ask oneself, am I going to lose having this song liked by more people? Well, maybe some people will reject this song, but maybe they think that what they can think, though, is that there will be a connection, a direct connection between that specific song and that person. So the application to the world of Enneagram, I see it in a very important area, which is in education. How do we make the different typologies that are seen in a classroom where we have 9 different types of students How can we make for that one teacher who's talking to those different types of personalities, those different enneatypes, how do we make those people feel that that teacher is talking to them? And I think this is an important tool to implement in education.
So we could say then that this is the basis for the expansion of Enneagram into the community.
Yes. I think that, and I wish everybody knew about Enneagrams. And in fact, that is why I belong to the Association of Enneagrams, because I want to study this in depth from the serious point of view. I'm not talking about the horoscope and the zodiac signs, which is people talk about and make jokes about being Cancer or Leo or whatever. No, I want to study this from the point of view that, for example, when somebody knows about the other type of enneatype, when I can understand what the other personality is like, I stop judging him. I can understand why he's saying something, why he has an opinion. I can accept what he's saying without feeling offended, because he's not talking against me. He's not being aggressive towards me. He's just expressing his point of view about reality. And I can also accept myself. If I accept myself and my enneatype, I can understand behavior. I can modify my behavior because I know that there's certain things about my enneatype that affect other people. So I think the massive knowledge of Enneagram makes it possible for people to understand. It increases tolerance and respect. So I think it is a system of love. Yes, from the empathy point of view and from the point of view of tolerance, not discrimination or rejection or being intolerant.